Soda Squad back with another video. I seen that thought I was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. You got MSNBC. It's broadcasting to all of America that Somalian fraud in Minnesota is made up by Donald Trump. This is what I honestly was afraid of, and I know other people was too. But I'm glad that now, you having different creators, you're having different people, talk about this, and big shout out, to Nick Shirley, for doing what he's done, and with doing a lot, being in Minnesota. Like I said, I've seen him in New York. I've seen him in multiple places. But then again, you have, situations like this. You got MSNBC saying that, this is all made up by President Trump. We seen, videos literally of Nick Shirley going out, and actually finding and seeing, we already heard about it, but actually having somebody go and see for themselves, and doing that, of course, they're going to blame anything on President Trump. Let's check it out.
Sure. So these were funds that were meant to go to help feed hungry people during the COVID pandemic, to help keep people in their homes who were at risk of homelessness. So first of all, if there is fraud there, that should be fully investigated, no matter where it is, whether it's in a Democratic-led state, a Republican-led state. I mean, let's pull back. So absolutely, it should be investigated. The question is, why is this a priority in a different kind of way? The politicization of the DOJ and the FBI is undeniable. So whether they are reliable narrators is the big question. And this is what happens when you weaponize and politicize federal agencies that are not meant to be, politicized. And I think the American people are right to ask the question, well, can we trust you? And that's a sad thing to say as an American. Let's recall, too, that there's also other scandals in other states. For example, the Mississippi welfare scandal.
But I feel like we're not talking about other states right now. I feel like this is something that they will continue to do, is to try to place it and put it, and use it as excuse, oh, this is happening here, this happening. No, we're talking about Minnesota because of how bad Minnesota is. And not to take away, individuals, because people will tell me, like, you see what's going on in California right now? I definitely do. But when we're talking about something needs to be done, definitely, in the top 5, I showed you the top 5 a couple days ago, the states, that you have a lot of this going on. But when it comes to Minnesota and California, definitely both, definitely both. And I don't see how people are not understanding that, and they sit here and they make up lies like this.
This is not unique to politics. Americans know that. But of course, the other factor here is that because it looks like the Somali population in Minnesota, the Somali immigrant population may have been involved in some way, those people are being scapegoated, and that community is being scapegoated in a way that certainly serves the far right. Sure. So
it's a shame. You have individuals that get on these platforms and they sit here and lie. They lie. And it's definitely sickening, and it's sad, that they do these things, seeing, of what, we're seeing every day when it comes to, as soon as you get on X, as soon as you get on that YouTube, I've even seen people pull up, different TikToks, I don't know if y'all on TikTok, and y'all see how many people are, pushing this out. And I have, I got other things, that definitely show y'all how bad it is. But then you have, again, MSNBC lying and saying this is all made up. All lies. I'm going to show y'all why. It says right here, FBI is surging investigative criminal units into Minnesota. Public takedowns of more Somali fraudsters are likely coming soon, FBI source tells. So y'all have it right here. It says even more DHS teams are now on the ground conducting site visits at Somali potentially fraudulent businesses in Minnesota. So there's a couple businesses here, to mention, and then here's another business. It says here Homeland Security investigations, ICE are on the ground in Minneapolis right now. Conducting massive investigation on child care, and other frauds.
Are there any subcontractors or anything you guys deal with, like say like other businesses that you partner with, that you use for a service of any kind, maybe transportation or anything like that?
No, we provide. Usually parents, they come like this, drop the kids, they go to work, and then we take care of them.
Awesome, awesome. And who actually oversees the receipt of those documents?
Usually like, no.
Never know anything. Never know anything, and they continue to lie. Volume is all the way up, so y'all can definitely see, you know, what is going when it comes to, you know, this part, you know, right here, that I'm gonna show y'all. It's kind of low, so I definitely apologize. But check out what this individual says.
You know when the last time someone's been there? It seems locked up and closed, but we had. No? Have you seen anybody come and go from there?
Yesterday I was working in Jordan. I go around, so yesterday I was not here.
Okay.
So I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
Yesterday she wasn't there. Yesterday she wasn't there. I'm telling y'all, it's all the lies. It's truly all the lies. That and one thing about it, and I say this because I've seen multiple videos of, you know, even a video of Nick Shirley, actually, you know, of him going into a healthcare business, and, you know, you have multiple people say, oh, I don't know, or I wasn't here that day, or I wasn't, you know, they always, you know, say that because, you know, it's that, you know, protecting, you know, it's truly them protecting. I'm telling y'all. Says Fox News attempted to reach out to Somalia Quality Learning Center. If y'all don't know what that is, it is supposedly a daycare in Minnesota. They couldn't even spell learning right. And their phone number doesn't even work. Check it out.
So this is Quality Learning Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center. We've arrived to ABC Learning Center. All the windows are blacked out. I would like to check a child in the daycare.
Why?
Can I speak to a manager? I would like to see if I could bring little Joey, my son little Joey here. Is there paperwork, or can I check out the daycare?
You got $2.66 million this year in funding and $2.5 million last year. We're just wondering where the kids are.
Hello, we'd like to ask.
Definitely same. And I know many of y'all have seen that. Many of y'all have definitely seen that video. You know, you have here, and this is, you know, the Quality Learning Center. Learning Center, see, I'm messing up my words. Received $8 million tax dollars since 2019. Between 2019 and 2023, they had 95 violations leading to them being placed on a conditional license. Says they got the license back in 2024. Continue receiving taxpayer dollars. No kids were ever seen. And this is from January 2025.
I started by visiting Quality Learning Center Daycare.
So it is that 14B.
Which sits right in the heart of downtown Minneapolis. Between 2019 and 2023, the Minnesota Department of Human Services found 95 violations at this location. They range from failure to keep hazardous items away from children to no records for 16 children, which include things like immunizations, emergency contacts, and medical needs. So state investigators placed Quality Learning Center on a conditional license in 2022. I went to the daycare's location several times, and only once did I see people there.
Oh, that's your daycare.
But I did not see any children.
So there are 80 kids in there?
No.
After school? Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you.
DHS declined an interview, but in a statement acknowledged Quality Learning Center was put on a conditional license because of its poor safety record. But it still received nearly $8 million in taxpayers' money since 2019.
I'm telling y'all, it's all dirty. It's all dirty. Somebody had a question down here that says, did Quality Learning Center donate to the political campaign of Tim Walz? I'm telling y'all, there's so many things that, you know, that I know that hasn't been uncovered yet that we definitely have to check out. I'm telling y'all, it's definitely getting crazy. Says here, Minnesota Department of Children says the Quality Learning Center has been shut down. So it is shut down. And I wanted to show y'all this video because this woman right here definitely made sense on a lot that she said. Check it out.
I'm telling you right now, Kamala knew what she was doing when she picked Tim Walz
Definitely
as VP. She knew running for president wasn't about running for president for them. It was about expanding their operation. The governor of Minnesota, Tim, Waltz changed the state flag to ironically resemble the Somali flag. And now, people in other blue states are investigating their own child care centers and their own adult care centers and seeing the same pattern. The fraud is going to be so extensive, so widespread, nationwide, they're not going to have the resources to shut it down. They're going to have to call in the military. Tribunals 2026 is coming.
Telling y'all, I definitely feel that way too. And I definitely feel that way just for the simple fact of how bad it is in Minnesota and other places. People are starting to question in a lot of other places as well, everywhere. I mean, you had a loan with Nick Shirley showing those videos, multiple daycares. It was even like 17 businesses, healthcare businesses in one building, and then 16 in another. So I'm telling y'all, definitely crazy. This right here again goes to show you on how bad, y'all remember at the beginning of this video, I showed y'all on how you have MSNBC, going and saying different things. But not only do you have MSNBC going and saying things, you also have Jessica Tarloff of Fox News, literally saying, and this is a post, by Davari Darkins, says liberal Jessica Tarloff cannot fathom that Nick Shirley investigated billions of dollars in Somali fraud in one day on his own. Check out what Jessica Tarloff just said, y'all.
Nick Shirley's reporting there's no way that this kid walking around uncovered $100 million worth of fraud on his own. There have been tons of people working behind the scenes quietly, including independent local journalists that have been exposing this. I don't know about the veracity of every single thing that he's gone and seen. That's being debated online. But obviously, there's a huge problem here. It does Democrats no favors to get partisan about this and to dig in and say, oh, it absolutely couldn't be happening because it's my team that this happened to. The argument that it has not been being covered is ludicrous. People don't want to just do simple Google searches. The biggest story about this came from the New York Times, and it made liberals look terrible.
One thing about this is that you already have Jessica Tarloff. Again, Jessica is a very, very, she's a very negative person. She's a very negative person, very disgusting person. She doesn't, obviously understand. Says Nick Shirley's reporting there's no way this kid is walking around uncovered $100 million of fraud on his own. Yes, and honestly, it's a very great thing, that he's done that. I truly feel like it was definitely there, and you had people talk about it. But for somebody, especially somebody as young as he is, going there and doing all of that, it speaks a lot. I'm telling y'all, it definitely speaks a lot. And for her to sit there and bash the fact that he did this and then sit there there's no way this kid is walking around and uncovering and saying, come on now. Says right here, like always, she misses the point. The point is that Shirley found all the information in one day, whereas it's taken 7 years for mainstream media or officials to, publicly release investigations, which is ridiculous. And I agree. Definitely agree. You have here somebody calling the Somali daycare, and the phone number is linked to Tim Walt's office. Check it out.
So guys, this is absolutely mind-blowing. So I was watching the most recent video by Nick Shirley exposing these daycare centers. Now, they're going daycare to daycare, and the next one that they go to is called Sweet Angel Childcare. This is where they show up to. And this is the business right here. Sweet Angel Childcare in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, listen to where this phone number goes to when you call this child care center. Just wait for it.
Thank you for contacting the Office of Governor Tim Walz and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan.
Wow.
Our office is located at 130 State Capitol at 75 Reverend.
Oh my God. I'll do it again. Sweet Angel Childcare.
So y'all see it right there. I mean, it's one of those things. Y'all can find this video. Really, y'all can find this video everywhere. Just type in calling Somali daycare or call a Somali daycare. It'll pop up. I'm sure a lot of people have, seen this, but I wanted to put, shed a light on it a little bit more, because I feel like this is definitely, important to see, of how corrupt and how messed up things are in Minnesota. I'm telling y'all, definitely insane. Says there's a massive Somali fraud ring in Ilhan's Omar district. And again, I truly agree. Check it out.
How did Ilhan Omar make $30 million in 1 year when her congressional salary is $174,000? This seems very likely connected to the massive Somali fraud ring that was just exposed in her district in Minnesota. It turns out her husband, Tim Minette, has a company called Rose Lake Capital, a venture capital management firm. Its reported value in 2023 was $0. Ilhan Omar
wanted to pause a little bit so y'all can read that, because I'm sure it's about to go off real quick.
net worth was actually in the negative, and somehow the reported value of that firm has now gone to between $5 and $25 million. And she has the pricey fashion items to show for it now. She also has multiple connections with people tied to this massive Somali fraud ring, including a video of her dishing out food at a restaurant that's at the heart of the scandal. Because, oh yes, it wasn't only learning centers being used to pocket money.
Quality Learning Center is a daycare, yet they spelled learning wrong.
There were also restaurants claiming to serve millions of meals to children without any verification. I would also...
And honestly, I feel like it's just, I would say, a lot of businesses that's going down. I feel like just not the restaurants, the healthcare business, or even the daycare business. I feel like there's other businesses that's also involved. It's just, again, these are things that's just now coming out. Like I said, I feel like there's a lot that's not uncovered yet.
So just like to add, as a side note, that Ilhan Omar is currently on her third husband, whom she had an affair with when he was working on her campaign, and she was paying his consulting firm millions of dollars while cheating on her second husband. Not the brother. That was the first one. This was the second one. But, I guess once a cheater, always a cheater.
I'm telling y'all, definitely insane. Definitely insane, y'all. It's really sickening, just hearing all of this, because it's just so much going on when it comes to Tim Moss, Ilhan Omar, Keith Ellison, and it's a lot. With the businesses, it's a lot. And I truly, and I always say, and I'll continue to say, I want something to be done. I don't want nothing to be swept up under the rug. We've had enough swept up under the rug for the past years. I feel like I feel like a lot of people would agree with that. It's been so many things that swept up under the rug, or just a slap on the hand. A little tap on the hand, that's it. I'm telling y'all. Check it out, Fox News.
Certainly not. I mean, he's certainly supportive of whatever they're doing. And this is one of the other things that we need to address is the extent to which members of Congress find themselves getting wealthy while they're in Congress. In this case, it appears by being completely in bed with all of the fraudulent activity that's going on in Minnesota. Of course, we should investigate this. Of course, should we look into what they're scrubbing from their website. I think we've got to explore this as far as we can, including potentially looking into denaturalizing and removing Ilhan Omar if she's violated our laws. And by the way, we should also ban stock trading among members of Congress, since we're talking about the wealth of Congress, and I have a bill to do that, and I hope we will do that next year. Mike Johnson, the Speaker, is working with us to do that. We have got to stop all of this flow of dollars that is corrupting our system, empower the American people to do what they do best, and we've got to pause immigration. I introduced a bill to pause immigration.
Telling y'all, one thing about it, when it comes down to it, is I truly feel as if, definitely to put a pause. I feel like it's a lot going on. I don't know how everybody feels about it, but I truly feel like it's a lot going on. It's almost too much going on. It was one thing, trying to figure out everything when it comes to, individuals doing a lot. You had a lot of riots. You had a lot of things, going on in the past years. Stuff in Chicago, but now you're having a lot of Somalians, in these different parts of the country. And you have, the center of it all, of Minnesota, and all of it's going. I truly don't understand it. I truly don't understand it, and I don't understand the part where I feel like there's not much, getting done. I feel like mainstream media need to shed a better light on it. Tell the truth. Again, I'm so glad that Nick Shirley did that, but I just look at the simple fact that it just sucks. It definitely sucks. To have all these individuals that so-called, I'm doing this and I'm doing that for the country. You clearly not. I feel like there's so many people that have that power, you know, to do exactly what Nick Shirley did, and you know they didn't. And I truly don't get that. Somebody asked me too, you know, why did Rick you could have went to Minnesota. I'm not gonna lie, I've told y'all, like, I feel like it'd have been pretty cool. I feel like it'd been pretty cool because just think about it. I actually could go. I know it's about to sound crazy and it sound dangerous, but like you could actually like go and like disguise myself type, you know, and find out. I feel like obviously it may be, you know, a little bit too late now. Definitely, you know, watching out. But then again, got 2 daughters, you know, had a girl, you know, so it's a little bit tough, you know, definitely a little bit tough. But one thing about it, going all the way to Minnesota. But one thing about it is that I definitely apply, you know, Nick Shirley for what he did. And I continue to say that because what he's doing and what he's done is something that a lot obviously didn't do. You know, and him shedding a light on this definitely it did a lot of work. It helped out a lot. Definitely helped out a lot. Y'all let me know your comments, thoughts down below. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Stay tuned for the next video dropping tonight. Catch y'all next one.